The morning started like any other on my small farm in Meadowbrook Estates. I was up before dawn, boots crunching through frost-kissed grass as I made my rounds. The chickens clucked their morning greetings, my 2 goats. Buttercup and Daisy bleated from their pen, and my 3 sheep huddled together in the soft golden light. My dog, Rex, a loyal German shepherd mix, trotted beside me, his tail wagging contentedly. I'd moved to the semi-rural HOA community 2 years ago, drawn by the promise of affordable land where I could live my dream of sustainable farming. The HOA rules were strict, but my property was grandfathered in, legal and protected. I had all the permits, all the documentation. My farm was my sanctuary, my livelihood, and my peace. But peace never lasts when someone like Patricia Hendricks lives 3 houses down. Patricia was the HOA president, a woman in her late 50s with perfectly combed blonde hair, designer athleisure wear, and a perpetual look of disgust whenever she passed my property. She'd made her feelings clear from day one. Farms didn't belong in her neighborhood, regardless of legality. This isn't some backwoods hillbilly town, she'd sneered during our first encounter. We have standards here. I'd smiled politely and gone about my business. I paid my dues, followed the rules that applied to me, and kept my animals well cared for and secure. But Patricia didn't care about facts or permits. She cared about control. The incident that changed everything happened on a Tuesday afternoon in October. I was in my barn, organizing feed supplies, when I heard Rex barking frantically. Not his normal alert bark. This was aggressive, protective. I dropped everything and ran outside. Rex was in my fence yard, hackles raised, teeth bared. And there, on MY property, was Patricia's cat, a fat Persian named Mr. Whiskers, stalking through my chicken coop area. 2 of my hens were already dead, feathers everywhere, blood on the ground. Rex, no. I shouted, but instinct had taken over. Rex lunged, and Mr. Whiskers, trespassing cat who just killed my chickens, got caught. Rex shook him once, hard. I reached him in seconds, pulling Rex back, but the damage was done. Mr. Whiskers was injured, bleeding from his side and leg. My heart sank. I didn't hate cats. I didn't want this. But this cat had been on my property, inside my fence, killing my livestock. I scooped up Mr. Whiskers, grabbed my keys, and rushed him to the emergency vet. I paid the $800 bill myself. Even though legally I wasn't responsible, the vet said he'd recover fully. Patricia arrived at the clinic like a hurricane. "You!" she screamed, jabbing her finger at me. "Your monster attacked my baby. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy everything you love." "Patricia, I'm so sorry," I said, trying to stay calm. But Mr. Whiskers was on my property, inside my fence. He killed 2 of my chickens. Rex was protecting. "I don't care," she shrieked, her face purple with rage. "Your disgusting farm shouldn't even exist. I've tried to get rid of you legally, but now you've given me a reason. You're going to pay for this. You're going to lose everything." The venom in her voice sent chills down my spine, but I told myself she was just upset. People say things in anger. I was wrong. The next morning, I found a formal HOA violation notice on my door. Dangerous animal on premises. Immediate removal required, or face fines of $500 per day. I called my lawyer immediately. She reviewed my documents and laughed. "They have no legal standing. Your farm is protected. Ignore it." But Patricia didn't stop. She organized an emergency HOA meeting, packed it with her friends, and pushed through a motion to reevaluate all grandfather properties. She filed complaints with animal control, all dismissed. She called the health department. They found nothing wrong. She even tried to claim my rooster's crowing was a noise violation, despite the fact that roosters had specific legal protections in our county. Every avenue failed her. She couldn't touch me legally. So she decided to touch me illegally. It was 3 weeks after the cat incident. I'd been vigilant, keeping extra watch on my property, but I'd grown tired, complacent. That was my mistake. I'd driven into town for supplies, gone for maybe 2 hours. When I turned onto my street, I saw the smoke before I saw anything else, thick, black, billowing clouds rising into the autumn sky. My farm was on fire. I slammed on the brakes and ran. The barn was completely engulfed, flames shooting through the roof. My chicken coop was burning. The storage shed was an inferno. And the screaming, God, the screaming of my animals trapped inside would haunt me forever. No, no, no. I was sobbing, trying to reach the barn door, but the heat drove me back. Rex was barking frantically from inside my house. Thank God I'd left him inside. But Buttercup, Daisy, my sheep, my chickens, my ducks, they were all in there. Neighbors gathered, some with garden hoses, but it was useless. By the time the fire department arrived, it was too late. I collapsed on the ground, watching everything I'd built burn to ashes. The firefighters saved my house, barely, but the barn, the coops, the animals, all gone. The fire marshal investigated. Accelerant used, he told me grimly. Multiple points of origin. This was arson. Who would? I started, but I knew. We both knew. They found her fingerprints on a gasket in the tree line behind my property. They found her shoe print in the mud near the barn. And when they pulled her phone records, they found text to her friend. Going to solve my farm problem once and for all. That bitch will learn. Patricia Hendricks was arrested the next day. I watched from my window as police led her out of her pristine house in handcuffs. She was screaming about her rights, about how I deserved it, about her poor Mr. Whiskers, even caught red-handed. She saw herself as a victim. She was charged with 7 counts of animal cruelty, arson, destruction of property, and terroristic threats. The prosecutor told me it was one of the clearest cases he'd ever seen. But knowing she'd face justice didn't bring back Buttercup's gentle nuzzles or Daisy's playful headbutts. It didn't bring back my sheep or the chickens I'd raised from chicks. It didn't erase the smell of smoke and death that clung to my property. The community, surprisingly, rallied around me. Neighbors I'd barely spoken to, the ones who'd quietly supported my farm all along, organized fundraisers. A local farmer donated new chickens and 2 young goats. A contractor offered to rebuild my barn at cost. Even some of Patricia's former HOA cronies came forward, apologizing, admitting they'd been afraid to stand up to her. The new HOA president, a kind man named Robert, personally delivered a formal apology and wrote a new provision protecting agricultural properties permanently. 6 months later, my farm was rebuilt. Better than before, actually. I had new animals, a stronger barn, better security. Rex had a companion now. A rescue dog named Bella who'd also survived tragedy. Patricia took a plea deal. 5 years in prison, restitution of $87,000, and a permanent restraining order. She lost her house to pay the restitution. Her husband divorced her. Mr. Whiskers went to live with her sister. I should have felt vindicated. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I just felt tired and sad. Sad for what was lost. Sad that someone's ego and cruelty had led to such senseless destruction. Sad that innocent animals had paid the price for human hatred. But as I stood in my new barn one morning, watching the sunrise paint the sky pink and gold, I felt something else too. Resilience. I'd survived. My dream had survived. And I'd learned that communities are stronger than the tyrants who try to rule them. Rex nuzzled my hand, and I scratched behind his ears. "We're okay, boy," I whispered. "We're going to be okay." And for the first time since the fire, I believed it.